Hey cosplayers, I'm a minute late getting this started. Sorry about that. But let's dive in. So in today's live Cosplay Apprentice video, we're going to go through and talk a little bit about pattern making techniques. And this one will involve taking a 3D shape and simplifying it down into a 2D shape that you can trace onto foam. Hey Leia, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I got some good progress on the Clone Trooper helmet this last week.
Hi.
Howdy, howdy. Oh, Leia was on, I don't know if she accidentally dropped off or if it's just not showing us.
I see something else.
There we go.
Is your screen your camera thing?
Maybe.
Fuzzy?
Hold on a second, everybody.
Don't mind him, like breeze on you.
All right, yeah. So we are here. Just notice this one's the broken one. Should be fine though.
I can grab the other one. Hi, Leia.
All right. So yeah, we're going to do a little bit of look at that cool Star Wars door back there.
There's a can on the floor.
Oh. Yeah, so we're gonna do just diving in and talking through 2D-fying, as I like to call it, a pattern. So if you see here, here's my base from before. Can't see
I
it.
got a question about templates.
Oh, what's our question about templates?
So you give fans free templates.
Oh.
Tell them about how to get a free template.
Yes, the best way to get free templates is by making sure you're subscribed to the channel. And what we have started doing is, for those of that are our fans and tune in for all of our videos, the day that we release a video, we will have a hidden code somewhere in the video that you can use to go in that template for that video for free. That'll be good for the first day that we publicly release the video. So that way we're rewarding our super fans that tune in for all of our videos and the ones that show up first and don't wait till the second day to watch them. So yeah, so great question. I'm glad you asked, because there is a way to be able to get free templates, and that's how you do it. So make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, so you get notified. And make sure too that you hit that bell notification. So even if you are subscribed, make sure to hit that bell notification and select all in the little menu there. That way it'll notify you of all of our videos every time, so you don't accidentally miss a build video. So we're working towards trying to have a build video with templates available about at least once a month. Is our goal.
We'll get there.
We are, yeah, if you guys have noticed, this year we've really ramped up the YouTube channel and putting stuff out for you guys. We are working on trying to get into more of that groove. We've been getting a lot of good tips out and things like that, and we're working towards being able to have some more of those build videos and stuff be able to come out too. So
Hi, Christian.
hey Christian, how's it going? Leia says she's having internet problems. Shoot.
Hi again. Someone says, I'm fine running out of food. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. Running out of food?
It stresses me out for you.
Bueno.
I'm sorry. I hope you're okay. I hope you can get to the store. Or whatever you need to do.
Cha. Well, with that, let's jump back into this. So, So yeah, if you see here, this is what it looked like a bit ago, right? Without all the details drawn on last time you guys saw it. Um, not everything was all detailed on, and I definitely didn't have this piece made yet. And you're like, what in the world is that piece? But so now I've flattened this. So what we're going to kind of be talking about a little bit today is how to take a 3D object and flatten it to make it as easy as possible to then take foam and combine it together to make this object with as little seams as possible. So right here, this is, if you fold this over and then you glue this part down on here, and then take this guy and wrap it around inside of here, then you will start to see that this little piece turns into the, you guys see that? Not really.
I saw it.
Olivia saw it in real life.
Like, what? For you all.
That'll turn into his little the little fin thing that goes on it. But it's all one piece, and then that way there's like no actual seams here, and then these parts will get cut at 45s that get glued together, so it'll be virtually a seamless there. And then this is just gonna be, you know, fold in and glue in on itself all along there to create your whole piece.
Sweet.
So yeah, so basically took the shell off that I created with the tin foil, tin and tape method that I built on top of the base.
I have a question. Is cardboard a good material for cosplaying?
Alright, so is cardboard a good material for cosplaying? I think any material that you have and you're comfortable working with is a good material for cosplay, especially when you're getting started. I highly recommend working with foam, even if you are getting started. So the one thing about working with cardboard is that there's a limit to the quality that you can get without spending a ton of time on the back end. And it will be, I think you'll be surprised that in order to get the high quality look that you want to get, or that you wish you could get from it. Sorry, you're out of focus back there.
Yeah. Also, like, my contact is weird today, so I'm like, am I just like seeing everything cloudy?
That you'll find that you'll end up spending a lot of money in the process of finishing with the stuff that you'll have to buy, like Bondo or like fillers or different things like that, and just time and sanding and all that kind of stuff to be able to get that you know, good solid clean look, just to try to get rid of those things in cardboard. Versus if you just spend that money up front instead and just buy like something like EVA foam that's relatively inexpensive as well. And then you can make it, you'll have a smooth surface at the end and everything like that. But yeah, if that cardboard's what you got and you have like zero budget, but you have some cardboard and some tape, like start there, make some really cool stuff. Like that's a great place to start. So and just paper too. You know, they have those Pepakura files that you can get that you just print out and basically just fold paper in the right way and tape everything or glue everything together, and you can get some pretty cool looking stuff that way as well. And I think you can use Pepakura patterns on like cardboard, especially if you're doing like cereal box cardboard that's gonna have this smoother surface without any of the ribs that you'd get in like more of like a Amazon box cardboard.
Someone wants to know, what millimeter thickness will the helmet be made of?
Yes. So this helmet will be 4mm foam. I'll be doing 4mm what the foam.
Do you want me to grab a piece of that so you can...
Yes. So I'll show you how thin that would be. So a lot of times for helmets like this,
Is this okay to use kind of crazy?
Yeah, sure. So this is a piece of what 4mm width of foam. We've cut into it a little bit already, but you can see
it's pretty thin, like compared to what
pretty thin
you would use.
So a lot of times to make a helmet, people would be using this thickness,
Or even a 6. of like a nice one.
Or if you have a 6mm of a nice one or something like that. But you can see
Like what is this?
the difference in thickness between the two of these.
Is this a 10?
Yeah.
Pretty
The
thick.
8 or 10, yeah. Anyway,
Oh well.
so you can get the same hold with what the foam 4mm as you could with something like this. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 4. It keeps it relatively thin, and armor-like, and also gives really good clean curves and edges and detail with the panel lines and everything like that. Especially with this being like a sci-fi build, and things will be able to get really clean cuts, really clean lines, and everything there. So yeah, great question. Weekend Columbia, combine that with the quarantine and you get a pretty weird couple of days, but everything is good.
Is a Holy Week a holiday? Is that what that?
Yeah, we're a Holy Week.
Oh, Holy Week. Yeah, because of. Sorry, I understand now. Holy Week. Because of Easter.
Yeah, crazy. I started out with cardboard. I made some awesome shields with it. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's some amazing makers that make some really cool stuff out of cardboard that I see all the time. Definitely an option to start with. So yeah. So anyway, just kind of continuing on this. So essentially, you can see to start with along my center cut line here. Maybe you can see. Yeah, there we go. The those little yellow marks that I have, those are my registration marks. Let's see if we can get it to focus in better. Here we go. Can you see that on yours?
What am I looking?
The yellow
Barely.
marks, if I turn like that.
I can see it now that you told me to.
Okay,
Look for
anyway.
yellow.
Yeah, so there's little yellow marks like every inch or so here along the edge. Because that's my center line, so I want to make sure I know, have my registration marks set up there. Because I'm going to just mirror this, half, flip the patterns to do the other half, and then glue them together. But what I'll probably do is, when I actually trace it onto the foam, I'm going to try to avoid actually having a seam right here. So as we kind of figure out how to break this up and make it 2D, right here along the forehead, I've marked where this piece starts, this little guy that sits on top here. I've marked roughly where that starts in the front. And so right here, I don't want to have any seam that I need to clean up or hide. So when I go to trace this on, I'm gonna once we get it cut out, I'll actually take the pattern, trace it all, and then along this section, flip it over and line these 3 registration marks up, flip it over and trace that. So when I cut it out, this piece will just be all one piece, and then I'll have my cut line actually along here that'll all be getting covered up. Back to here. Now there's a little bit of a gap in the back. You can see, if you can see, this line right here is where that little mohawk thing ends. There will be a little bit of a gap in the back, but better to have a tiny little seam in the back that we have to fill, where it's not going to be seen as much or have as much attention to it, especially with photos or anything like that, than to have that be front and center right here on the forehead where it's supposed to be on a very smooth build, right? So there's just kind of some things to think about, because you are going to have some seams, but even when you do have to have some seams, it's best to try to figure out, hey, how can I eliminate that? And luckily, because this build has something that runs all along the center to a certain point, we can leverage that and hide that. And it's not too long of a stretch to where we can actually line these up pretty straight and get that trace nice and well. So, do we have any other comments?
You saw the cardboard number. Electric Angel says, "This is amazing. Thank you guys for all that you do."
Oh, awesome. Hey, Electric
you.
Angel, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And then Joshua Harper says, "Sorry I'm late. Is that a clone trooper helmet with a little disbelief face?"
Yeah. Joshua Harper, it sure is. Better late than never. No worries. Welcome. Yeah, this is a Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. Uh, Maker and Basement was the one that first suggested it when we were doing our build suggestion push. And then several other people agreed that they like to see a Clone Trooper helmet. And Maker and Basement said, I haven't seen anybody make one out of foam before. And I started looking of the Phase 1 helmet, and I started looking it up, and he was right. There was like nobody that had really done a foam Phase 1 helmet, so I was like, sweet, cool, that sounds great. And like several people had voted for it, so we're doing it. And I'm super excited about how this is turning out. So, but yeah, so what we're doing right now, I know we've had videos and stuff in the past where we've kind of covered this process of trying to take something that's 3D and then break it down in a way where you can avoid as many seams as possible. But it's hard to cover in just like a tiny little video. And so for you guys that are the, dedicated people and that are dedicated to learning and improving and everything like that, we're going to do kind of a full walkthrough as I'm kind of breaking this down and talking through, what I'm seeing, how I'm looking at it and everything like that, to be able to try to break this down to a 2D shape. And I've got lots of practice with making the patterns for the different things that we put out for you guys, and making those in a way where the seams are hidden as much as possible, so that you don't have to worry about a ton of finishing time, cleaning up seams and everything like that at the end. You can get a pretty good smooth look with minimal I want to say post-production, but that's film terminologies. Very little finishing stages that you have to do. So
we've got Joshua Harper says, if you make a template, I would love for it to be my first build.
Oh, sweet. Yes. So I'm cranking along on this as quick as I can, and everything. And I believe, so I plan on creating the full template for this, even though it was just going to be a fast build thing. I was just going to take pictures of it and make that available. But I'm thinking I'm going to make the full digital template. So make sure you're subscribed, which I believe you are, and that you have notifications turned on to receive notifications for all of our videos. And usually when we put these out, the first day that we put it out with the patterns and stuff, we'll put a hidden code somewhere that you can, if you watch the whole video, find and then enter that in to get the template for free that day. So, but yeah, anyway, cool. Glad to know people are interested. We got one person that's already interested in the pattern if we put it out. So there were more?
Yeah.
Andre Lucena, I'm guessing.
Speaking of clone troopers, who is your favorite clone minus Captain Rex? Because he's cool.
Oh man, you had to minus Captain Rex?
No, you didn't minus. His is Captain Rex.
Oh, mine is. Oh, I thought you said minus Captain Rex. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Probably Captain Rex. What I'm planning on doing with this one is I'm going to do it as do the paint job of Captain Rex and add his little like flip down visor thingy, viewfinder, and do the paint job of Captain Rex on this one, just so that I get to paint it more than just like the standard Clone Trooper helmet. Aside from Captain Rex, I would probably have to say Fives, though after watching like the newest ones, Echo coming back was pretty sweet. I don't know though, because of the Bad Batch now, they have some cool clones in there. Tracker, I think his name was Tracker, was pretty legit. So I don't know. I'd say probably Captain Rex #1, Tracker and Fives tied for 2, and then Echo maybe. But yeah, how about you guys?
John Patterson says, "Hey everybody."
Hey John, how's it going?
And Joshua says, Joshua Campbell's here. Hi, he says, "Hi Skylar." Hi.
Hey Joshua Campbell, how's it going?
John Patterson says, "I'm very interested in this one." Christian, is there any way you could translate the Spanish from Caputata?
Kakatuas or
I'm not sure. It just sounds stupid.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, come here for a second. And then Joshua Harper says Echo is great, but they are all great on that show.
I was going. Can I have a chocolate?
Can you have a chocolate?
Where did
You've
you
already
see
brushed your
chocolate?
teeth. No, Mom doesn't have chocolate. Do you wanna say hi?
Do you want to say hi, bud? Say
Hi.
hi to everybody.
Say hi.
Say hi. I'm supposed to be in bed.
Say hi. I'm naughty.
Hi.
Say thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh,
You don't want to.
say, did you guys remember my video on how to make a Pokemon badge?
Okay. Do you know? Oh, do you still remember my video to make a Pokemon badge?
I don't know if you guys heard that, but he asked if you guys remember his video on how to make a Pokemon badge.
All right.
If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out sometime.
Okay, water's not down here.
Joshua Harper said his daughter just got out of bed too.
He,
Oh.
our oldest son sends him down on errands so that he doesn't get in trouble. Just this one.
All right, let's see. John Patterson got wonderful news today. Awesome.
I
Please
like
share. What was it?
All right.
Hope to see more of your workspace and how it is all set up.
I know. I'm watching it so I can know the comments.
Georts, I'm trying to say that right. Make sure to here in a little bit remind me, and we'll do a little just quick walk around
It's pretty messy in here.
for those of you that haven't seen it yet.
Professor Rose. Oh, that's when you take some.
They're saying hi from Mexico. I don't understand anything, but what you do looks so cool. Oh, thank you so much.
And then he's like,
Okay, go to bed.
We're so glad you tuned in. Sorry, I wish I spoke multiple languages. I mean, I speak French and English, but I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry.
We wish we spoke Spanish.
Yeah, we wish we
We're
wish we
gonna
spoke
work on
Spanish.
that.
We're gonna learn that.
Okay, good night.
I would do Rex helmet. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna paint it like Rex's, Joshua Campbell, because he's super cool, and yeah, I want to give it a sweet paint job. So, totally. Okay. Is he good?
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully
Little-
he gets up to bed.
Little cutie.
We'll see if he finds his way.
All right, sweet. So, yeah. Oh, I just have this in front of me by chance. If you guys haven't seen this video yet that we put out this week, you should check it out. It's on making chainmail out of EVA foam, and it's super cool. Thanks to Ben Eady. So check out his email channel, his YouTube channel. I was like saying chainmail and like YouTube. I don't know, email. But yeah, it's super cool stuff. And actually, Everett's the one that painted this. I don't know if you
He's
guys.
our oldest.
He's our oldest. Is our
7.
7-year-old. He's 7 now. It's
As of
crazy.
a week ago.
Anyway, but yeah. A brand new knee for Christmas. Nice. Total knee replacement.
Wow.
Wow, that'll be sweet. It'll be like a $1 million man.
I see. Oh, Everett was. I see.
Okay, we don't have any ice. Our ice machine broke, and that's a big deal in this half family.
No,
Yeah.
we have no ice.
Oh, come on.
I think we used it all at dinner.
I need. No, there's still more.
Thanks, love.
There's another old box of them.
Apparently they need some ice water and are having troubles. All right, let's see. Saw that and looks a lot easier. How sturdy is it? Worry about tearing potentially. This stuff. So we're talking to him about potentially trying. I haven't tried to rip this. I should probably do like a rip test. But I mean, it has some stretch to it this way for sure. It doesn't stretch as much this direction. I mean, I wouldn't count on it to really like hold weight attached to it, But if you just had like a male shirt that was made out of this or something like that, or a male cap or a sleeve, or if you guys saw Much Props video, he did some really cool pauldrons and stuff with this kind of built into it of like a leather chainmail kind of combo. In those type of scenarios, you know, it's going to hold up great. We are trying to convince him to use our What the Foam to make the chainmail, because then it would be super strong. But yeah, great question. So we're hoping that he'll go for that idea. Let's see. Is there any chance you'll make Captain Rex's pistol blasters? There's probably a chance. It all depends on you guys. So if you'd like to add that to our request list, let me grab a piece of paper real quick. But yeah, so basically anytime we get people requesting something, I write it down. Right now I don't have, so usually I'll be on my phone and I'll be able to just switch over to my Excel file that I keep track of them all in. But right now I'm just gonna write it on the piece of paper and stick it next to my computer so that, actually, this will be better. Sticky notes. Okay, yeah, so I'll add it to the list, and then as things get requested more than once, then it like bumps them up the list and everything like that, and we'll look at which ones have the most votes and that kind of stuff when we do the different things. No, you're good, Christian. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gio, it's about that chainmail. How do you prime and paint this? After mounting all together to get the paint in the spaces can be difficult, or isn't it? So that's what's kind of cool is, like I said, my 7-year-old actually painted this. And what's really sweet is with it being the black foam and being EVA foam, you can actually, you don't, with some paints and stuff, you don't have to actually prime it. I had him use, oops, I could have used that one too. So
Sorry,
I had him use this black shimmer focus. Black shimmer. Come on.
Focus.
Come on. Half of our live streams are just trying to get the camera to focus. Metallic Luster by Deco Art. It's kind of like a rub and buff type of thing. I just had him take a little cloth and just kind of rub it in the paste stuff and then just kind of brush it on. You could just do silver paint and dry brush, and it gives you a really nice like weathered look, and you just kind of leave some of the darker black spots black, and it just adds more of the depth to it and everything like that. So and yeah, there you go. So this one is like a darker shine already on its own. If you see sheen, a darker like metallic already. But you could do a brighter one if you're wanting it to be even like a brighter chainmail kind of thing, or you could do rub and buff or whatever as well. So there's a brighter silver, and or you can just do a dry brush or something like that as well. So yeah, great question. So exactly like you said, something like this would be hard to get in all the cracks and get it all painted, and then to still have it move the way you want it to. And so I've found, and from seeing other people work with it too, the best is just to give it a little dry brush, leave some of the spots a little bit darker. The spots you can't get to, don't worry about it, because that's where grime would probably accumulate anyway. And then you're good. So, or where you'd have shadows and stuff that would make it a darker look anyway. So, hey, Red's Gaming, how's it going?
Hi.
All right, let's see. Sawyer's and Much Props video. I'll be able to run around like a 20-year-old again. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. That's phenomenal. That is great news. Okay, Joshua Harper, thumbs up. And then hello from Reds Gaming. Cool. All right, while we wait for some more comments to pop in, we'll continue on this. Okay, so basically, I always tilt it down too far because it's on the ground and then I lift it up. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, so like I explained here, I'm gonna, when I trace this, I'm gonna trace it in a way that this front piece, and when I digitize it, I'll make it all one piece. But trace it so that this front piece doesn't have a seam at all. It'll just be right next to each other. And I'm thinking about cutting this top off along this line and along here. And because there's a layer piece in the helmet that goes all around right here, that kind of, oops, yep, that kind of sticks up. That's going to be a piece that wraps kind of all the way around. And so having a seam line right there is going to be completely hidden because it's just got that layer piece that will wrap all the way around anyway. So I'm thinking about cutting it along here. And then along with that, I'm going to probably cut it along this part because this part is actually set in a little bit. It's slightly indented along this area. And so what I'll probably do is with cutting this piece out completely, we'll be able to just inset that into this big piece, and it'll relieve a little bit of the pressure in this curve. I don't know if we can get this to lay completely flat. That'll be something to be seen. But we can get pretty close, especially if this is taking out some of the pressure of having to get that full curve all the way to there. And then this will flatten out relatively easy right here. And it'll just be a matter of right in this section if we can get away with not having a dart or not, which would be ideal. But if we do end up needing a dart, I'm going to try to push it back towards the back, once again towards the back as far as I can, so that from the front view, most everything looks super smooth, right? So with that being the case, I know that I'm going to definitely have to like go along there. So what we want to do is we want to mark all of our registration marks along this line before we cut it, so that when we have these other pieces, we know where it's going to line up with these other pieces, right? So
What are you looking for? How can I?
These guys right here.
This office has reached a new.
Reached a point of cleanup time. I'll probably use the gold. So usually I'd mark my registration marks in yellow, but my yellow is out or not working very well right now.
Sorry.
That wasn't loud. So while I would normally use gold for marking bevel cuts, we'll know that this isn't bevel cuts because it's running the wrong way. It's not running along the line. Unless I'm out of my gold too.
Oh, embarrassing. These last a long time.
Yeah, I've had these pens for over a year now. Wow.
I think so.
That's amazing. These are our
testing stuff out like
yeah.
that
These
when
are
we went to Mexico.
yeah, that's true. These are our prototype for our pattern pens, and they've been working excellently. And yeah, apparently I've had them for a year, which normal gold and silver markers like these are gone after about not even a full project. So, okay, but let's see. So hopefully this one has something in it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to mark my registration marks all along here, about every inch or so. So now we got it to there. Now I'm going to mark them along here. Now I haven't quite decided how I want to do this back circle piece section. Oh, that wasn't a very straight line. Oh well. I'm gonna just have to probably trace this on another piece for transferring it myself. But there we go. And I'm gonna also need them on this, along this line, because we're going to be cutting this piece out completely. And so we want to know right where that's going to fit in so that we don't end up with, so if you guys aren't familiar with registration marks, what these do is when we cut these pieces out and then we transfer them onto foam, we'll be transferring where these registration marks are as well, so that when we go to glue these pieces back together, we just line up those lines with each other, so we don't end up like gluing from this way and then the foam kind of pulls and stretches, and you could end up with extra sticking out when you're not supposed to, because you kind of just like pulled it tight or different things. And so this helps to really make sure that it gets that same curve and everything that we have in the pattern right here, when we go to glue it together, because it's attaching to the other pieces in the same spot where it should be, if it was fully connected. So yeah, so I think we got all those. One other spot we're going to need is we're going to need to know where this will connect in, so we want to create some registration marks along this piece as well. Is that on camera? Am I holding it at an okay angle?
Joshua Campbell.
There we go.
Skylar, you might want to do Stormtrooper armor. And Reds Gaming says, finally got my cosplay figured out.
Nice.
And JIORTS, jorts.
Yeah, I've just been saying Georts. I don't know if that's...
Jorts. No sealing? I mean, it would give it a glossier surface with some flexi paint or Plastidip. But yeah, just like that looks already like chainmail.
Yeah, that's what's really cool about it. Yeah, no sealing or anything done on it. Like you said, the problem is if you start to do Plastidip or different things like that, it's gonna impede kind of that like the like kind of chain chink movement of it, you know, because that Plastidip's gonna like seal stuff down to each other. So one thing Ben does say you can do is you know, coat it with like a flex bond or like the tacky glue kind of stuff to give it more strength. But yeah, it does do kind of what you were saying with kind of ends up gluing the pieces down together, and you don't really have that like chainmail flow anymore to it. Yeah, I mean, I think once again this is a darker sheen, so sometimes you have to catch it in the right light to kind of see this one fully, but it does kind of just look like this, like, you know, used chainmail metal. But if I were to do a brighter sheen on it with the brighter silver, then it'd like really, you know, pop and different things. And you could do different layers of different silver, like metallic sheens, and probably get a nice effect too. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And hopefully we can convince them to use the foam to make it, and then you won't have to worry about trying to strengthen it with any additional glues or anything.
Someone says the mannequin looks like a phase 2 helmet.
Oh. Over here? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Nice, yeah. So this was my base for this guy. When I had it, was kind of doing my basket build out method. And then I did tinfoil and tape on top of that to kind of and drew my details on, so that I have kind of this half shell that I can cut down. But yeah, now that I've done the phase 1, I'm kind of like, oh man, now I want to do Rex's phase 2, because he basically took the phase 1 and the phase 2 and combined it together, so I'm halfway done with that build now. But yeah, and then also too, to Joshua Harper's comment, now that I've made the helmet, I might be tempted in the future to want to make a full clone trooper armor, but we'll see. One project at a time. I have too many things I want to make. Okay, cool. So we've got that kind of planned out. I think we can actually go ahead and cut that out. I feel pretty confident that that's going to be the best way to do this, to break this up, this section. The only thing I'm going to need to figure out is transferring this circle. You know what I should probably do is just
Cover it and
just do a little quick tin and tape on that circle.
Where's the tape? Oh, it's right there.
Or do you think I should just like measure what the radius is of the two circles and just write it down? Maybe I'll just do that. Because then I can just
Whatever you
draw it out.
No idea.
Okay. So yeah, sorry, just real quick, I noticed,
Just throw it.
because this is going to be a layer that sits on top, if you look at the back here. This is going to be a layer that sits on top of the helmet. And so on top of the layers I have here as far as like the depth wise. And so I'm going to be cutting this out all the way through here because this is going to then sit on top of that. But I just want to, before I cut up the circle that I drew on for the design, I want to just make sure that I have the dimensions on it. So it's 2 centimeters and 2.5 centimeters. Actually, for
John
my
Patterson
radius.
wants to know, is the circle supposed to stand proud of the helmet or flush with it?
So 2 centimeters, and yeah, just a second on that. No, you're good. This was 2.5 centimeters. Okay, cool. So now that I jotted that down. So yeah, so it sticks out. So if we look at the profile here, you'll see that it sticks out from the helmet. And so basically what I'm going to do is I think depth-wise, from this part of the helmet,
I would do like a 12 or something.
be
That's thick.
5. I'm going to do a 6 millimeter. Oh wait, no, just kidding. Yeah, it would be thicker. You're right. Because my scale here is like about a half scale. So if it sticks out about 4 millimeters, we're going to want it to stick out about 8. So yeah, so I'll probably try to use like an 8 millimeter foam piece on that. And how I plan on doing it is just cutting that bevel, because you can see it's like got this circle and then it bevels down to a wider circle. So I'm just going to cut that at a bevel when I cut out that circle so that I have that ready to go. But yeah, cool. So I measured that, so we should be good. And
You actually gonna cut it?
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
this is gonna happen. Here we go. I should probably turn the camera so you guys aren't missing this because this is huge. What, like?
This is always kind of sad though when he cuts up these.
Yeah, it is kind of sad because it's like, whoa, that's like basically like a whole half a helmet already, just right there, you know? But it's like, okay, now we got to cut this up. So the cool thing about this is, so I did the basket build out here because I just want like to the challenge of trying to have to create it and make it look accurate, all just from me creating it. But you could easily, just as easily, get a pepakura pattern for this. Tape all the, print it out on paper just like you would tape it all together like you're creating the actual pepakura pattern so that it's the full helmet, and then do this same thing that I'm doing right now to make it two-dimensional, but meant to be able to hide as many seams as possible and trace onto foam. Even if you can't find an actual foam pattern for it, you can do the same method with a pepakura pattern. If you have like a toy helmet or something like that, but you want to make one that maybe it's like a smaller size or something like that, a toy helmet for kids or something, you want to make one that's large enough for you and make it out of foam, you could do the same thing. Just do the tinfoil and tape part around that helmet, kind of highlight all your details and everything like that on it, and then take off your half shell piece like this, 2D-fy it, and then you can actually take a picture of it from right above, from straight overhead, with like a mat like this that has like inches or next to a measuring tape or something like that. going up and down so you can know what size that is, and then you can actually just bring it into a program like Inkscape or something like that, digitize it, and then just scale that up to be able to fit you. And we have a great video on how to scale patterns. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. We have a calculator on our website as well that helps you be able to scale patterns, whether it's a pattern you bought from somebody else, or like that case, if you're doing something small and then you need to scale it up, how to kind of do those calculations. We have a calculator that makes that super easy. So yeah, anyway, here we go. Cutting time. Do we have comments while we're cutting?
Yeah, they want to know where you get your reference photos because they're planning a Captain Rex.
Oh, yeah. So great question. So these guys, I actually found. So anytime I can, I like to try to find ones where it has like the multiple angles. You know, like a profile, a front, and a back at least. Especially if the profile is symmetrical. Otherwise, you know, you want to try to get both profile sides. With games, with characters from games, that's really easy to get, because a lot of times people will just do like, you know, front, back, side screen grabs kind of thing from in game, because you can see full 360 around the character. For movie and things like that, a lot of times it's a lot more searching to just try to find ones that I mean, you can see in the background here for my hiccup. Basically, I just have, you know, a bunch of different ones. I found some clips where he's turned to the side. I found some clips where I can see it from behind, see it from the different things. Oh, we got another one.
We have visitors tonight.
Sleep in my bed.
But anyway, so luckily with this one, because you know, Star Wars is very popular, people like to build things from it, and people are very particular about getting, you know, things to be super accurate. These ones are like images from a digital file that somebody made, a 3D file that they put out there. And then these were just like the preview pictures of the digital file. So I was able to find these and kind of get a bunch, you know, roughly at the same scale to one another from the different angles. So anytime you can, you just try to find, when you do this though, when somebody's made a 3D version of it, you do want to double check and cross-reference with like actual movie or show reference images to make sure that they got all the details right, because sometimes it could be somebody's just creating a 3D model of it, but maybe they missed something or they didn't get it completely accurate themselves. So you want to find, you know, just it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it to like dive in and take your time with finding the reference images, because it'll help pay off in the long run. Great place actually when you can't find stuff with just Google images and things like that. Pinterest, for somehow I've found like Pinterest has like way higher resolution pictures of like hiccup stuff than I could find on Google Images and different things like that. So poke around in a couple different places, grab a big swath of them, and then kind of pick your favorites, kind of your key main ones that you're going to say, hey, here's my front, my profile, my back, and then the other profile if it's an asymmetrical character, meaning that it's not symmetrical on both sides, because you want to be able to see that side profile for both of those. So like, for example, Hiccup, he has one pauldron that's different than the other pauldron. And so I wanted to be able to get both sides, both profiles. So, yeah, anyway, great question. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay, here we go. We're going to cut this thing. And then Olivia will be back in a second to help me catch up on your guys' comments. Here we go. Are you guys ready for this? This is kind of scary. But the nice thing about doing patterning this way too is that if I mess up, I have my registration marks. I have my lines drawn on there. All I need to do is simply tape it back together and then redraw my line right there, which I'll still be able to see through the masking tape. And then it will be like nothing happened, right? So that's the beautiful part about patterning this way, is that it's very inexpensive, using cereal box cardboard to do your basket build out stuff like back here. And masking tape, which is super inexpensive, and tinfoil, which is super inexpensive. And it's very forgiving, because if you mess up, you just tape over the line you drew, or if you accidentally cut something you didn't want to, you just tape it back together, and redraw it the right way. Okay, so here in the middle, I think there's kind of like, gets kind of thick in the tin foil because I did a couple layers overlapping each other. So just gotta get through this. Oh, I probably shouldn't have started cutting without Olivia here. She'd want to see this. Chew. Oh, we haven't cut anything yet. We're just about to start.
What?
Oh wow, that went really fast. I just realized, like, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have started cutting without Olivia here. She would have wanted to see this. Okay, I haven't been looking at comments. I'm trying to actually like do some cool, like show them some cool stuff this time. Because sometimes I'll say I'm gonna show them cool stuff, and then I like never do.
Did you see that Red's gaming was Red Linguini?
Okay, I was wondering.
That's what I thought.
It seemed like you, and I saw your comment, and I was like, oh, that's probably Red Linguini, and then I read the name, and I'm like, Red Gaming? What? Red Gamer? Whatever it is. So yeah, thank you for clarifying, because I suspected, but I was like, oh, maybe it's not the same person.
I don't know how to get a screen grab on an Xbox 360, but I bet you could Google it if someone on here doesn't know.
How do you get a screen grab from Xbox 360? Yeah, that's a great question actually. And keep taking pictures of the characters with your phone.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to Google that myself. Some games might. I mean, I know. I'm trying to remember. So when I did my Hiccup, I mean not Hiccup, Arno Dorian Assassin's Creed, I play on the PC, and I don't think I even like printed out any reference images for that. I just like had the game up, and in the armory, like the where you're like put the different things on them, and you can kind of spin them around and like check out their armor that you put on them and everything. And I think I just had that open the whole time, and I was just like zooming in and like. And it was funny because the only way you could get it to zoom in on that was if you selected something that was going to be like you're changing his hood or something like that. So you have to go to like the hood section, and it would zoom in, and then you could like spin them around from there. And so I had to like keep going in and out of that. But I think I just did it like just referencing the game up on my screen the whole time, because I don't think I even like looked up how to do screen grabs at that point.
Joshua Harper says, I know the PS4 lets you screenshot from your controller.
Nice. Hey guys, look, now we just made a Guardians of the Galaxy helmet.
Nice.
Isn't the top of his like open up?
I don't know. I feel stupid.
Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's
No, I don't think it does.
maybe it's Captain Marvel.
Well, Captain Marvel, she has her
Her hair out the top. Anyway. Okay. Woo, we made a first cut. Okay, sorry, what's the next?
Will this video be available in full on your channel? And hi, Razzie, 18126181126. Happy to see you. Joshua Harper says it's open.
What's open? What?
The helmet for Guardians.
Oh, yes, I was right.
I knew I was probably wrong.
Cool. Thank you for clarifying. I know that PS4 lets you screenshot from your controller. Oh yeah. Yeah, there might be some kind of like special key combination or something like that to do it. I don't know.
Star-Lord. Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, Razzie18126. Will the video be available in your on full on your channel? Yes. So what we've been doing with the live streams is we have just been uploading it afterwards and making it available because we have a lot of people that want to catch up.
As far as this build goes, we will have a video.
Oh yeah, we'll have a full build video for this as well, which we should probably be recording parts of this.
We are. Oh, on that?
So for the video.
Oh, we'll turn the camera on.
Hold on, guys. We got to capture some footage for that video. Thank you for reminding me, Razzie. For our tutorial video that we're going to put out, we need to have some good footage of that. So let me just hurry and hit record
I
on
mean,
this.
not really for the pattern making. You kind of just do with your.
Oh yeah, we just need to have some footage just to kind of like play with the fun music. So we'll just have this and we'll just be like, oh. We should do a clip like this. It's
I
like,
can't even see. Turn it down. So they can see.
oh, okay. Here we go.
Ooh, Out Past Curfew just gave $20.
What? Okay, past curfew is the best ever. Wow, thank you. Okay, check this out. So, this clone trooper just found out about What the Foam, and he's like, "What? That foam's so durable, it blew my mind."
My penance for being late.
So yeah, that's just what I was doing. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. It's like we just blew this clone trooper's mind with how cool our foam was. All right. Anyway, okay. So now cutting along this part.
Thanks, Out Past Curfew.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
You little cutie.
I feel bad that I just cut across that circle, but such is.
My penance for being like 3 live streams late.
It's true. It's been a while. Nice. Okay. And then we'll cut along here. Trying to keep track of a couple cameras here now. Make sure I'm in frame. This is a little bit of the tricky cutting part. You guys get cutting sound effects in case you can't hear the scissors. They're like epic cutting sound effects. It's like I'm cutting it with a sword.
I don't think ghost sounds like cutting.
All right, there we go. Cool. All right, so now as I take these off, oh man, that's what I was worried about. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to do a dart in this. I was hoping that we'd be able to get away with this. So if you guys remember in my patterning video, one of the many, in that we have like a whole playlist of our patterning videos on all these different techniques, like in depth on each one. But if you guys remember, when you have this complex curve and you need to figure out where to put a dart, this is how I usually go about doing it. I'll start somewhere where I know it'll lay flat, and then I'll just start kind of pressing it down. And then you'll quickly be able to see as you're pressing this all down. So you're like, yeah, we can definitely get this flat enough to trace onto foam. But then I get to this point where it's like, there's no way I can like push that down. It starts to fold over on itself and everything like that. And it just really starts to bow up on itself and different things. And so there gets to be a point where it's like, okay, I'm going to have to create a dart here somewhere. But I'm going to try to push it as far back as I can towards the back of the helmet. So if you remember, this was our front, because this is our little curve guy here that came around. And so this did relieve some pressure for us, not having to have this full length of the curve. And actually, you know what? If we press it this way, we might be able to get away with just doing a little dart right there to flatten that out, to relieve some of that pressure. We do have a little bit of a fold here that happens. Sorry, so I'm just experimenting because, like, once again, I want the dart to be as minimal as possible. We don't want a big, huge dart coming across the center. Well, you can do that just fine. You're just gonna have to do some hiding of seams later on, especially with this helmet, because it's such a smooth finish by design on some of these sections. Yeah, I don't want to push it too much to where it
So how much
folds
can you
here.
actually just like heat shape into it?
So yeah, that's a great question. So to an extent, right, if this whole thing was a little bit less of that curve there, and I was able to kind of just press it down, and maybe we could get away with that on this. But there's quite some significant folds happening here. But if you were able to kind of press it down and you're like, hey, that wasn't too bad, it's not folding a ton, you can heat shape into that curve, expand that foam a little bit to get that curve you're losing in here. But you know, you start to run the gamble a little bit if it's more more of a curve like this, that you might end up not having your pieces fit together when you go to glue them together completely, because this is going to end up being slightly a little bit shorter than maybe this piece that runs right up next to it that doesn't have that same curve happening in it that you're having to add in. And so to play it safe, you want to try to, you know, add the darts in but make them minimal. But there definitely are times when it's like, you know, hey, that's perfectly fine. You might have to squish it a little bit and you get it, but it lays flat and you're like, okay, cool. That means we can usually add that curve in just in the foam, right? So, okay, I think let's push it to there. Now, this part is hidden for an extent of by this piece here that goes along the top. So I want to this is so tricky. But I think we're good. I think this is most of the front facing part of the helmet. We get back past this ear point there, so maybe we try to actually take it this way a little bit and just push it more towards the back. And now I think from there, maybe we'll just make a dart that comes in sorry guys, I'm being kind of particular on this one because I want to get it right.
While you play with this, do you want a question?
Oh yes, yes. If we have questions,
how would you
please
create 3D flames with foam, no thermoplastics? Carved solid bricks, foam clay, actual flaming swords aren't con approved. And thanks for all your hard work.
Oh, well, like how I would create a flaming sword for like for Hiccup, or so.
This is Razzie 18126.
Yeah, so just on that, what I would do, or what I plan on doing for Hiccup's flaming sword, is leveraging smoke and lights. So having the smoke be coming out from it, or along the blade coming out, or just kind of rising up with the blade from the hilt kind of thing, and putting in red, orange, and yellow lights with like a, you know, kind of the flame look, and you can get a pretty decent looking like kind of flame glow that looks like it has smoke coming off of it, just from lighting up that smoke. So you'd use like a little mini smoke machine type of thing, like a vape or different things like that. Or there's people that make miniature smoke machine type of things for those type of builds for cosplay and stuff like that. If you check out Wayne's World, I think is his name on YouTube.
Wayne's World, that's like...
Or Wayne's Workshop, not Wayne's World. Wayne's Workshop on YouTube. He has some that he sells that are already pre-made. But
what?
Oh, cool.
So this is like really intense.
That's sweet. Yeah. So even for that though, what I would do is I would like, yeah, like I would try to pump the smoke into the blade. So if you can make your blade hollow somehow for the sword, and then just have like holes along it. So what I'm thinking, if you want it to kind of light up, you could probably do a clear PVC pipe, heat it up, flatten it to kind of create your blade, and then you'd be able to drill holes into it, and then like kind of shoot your smoke up into it, and it'd be kind of coming out of all along, and then shoot your lights or run an LED strip up the center, and diffuse it along the center, like you would create a lightsaber type of thing. But then add the smoke aspect in addition. So yeah.
John Patterson said, "What if you started your dart right above where your left ring finger was, and curve the cut downward?"
Yeah, I like that. So like right over here and kind of curve it down.
And Razzie says, "Thank you so much."
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully that was helpful.
Is that what you meant, John? Where he pointed to?
So yeah, let's see if we can kind of take it back like that. So yeah, I'm thinking right here. I'm gonna draw it in pencil to begin with. So basically, you know, right along where you're hitting that pressure line is where you'll want to draw it. I think we can go. Maybe I'll bring it in just a tad bit so I'm not going right. Well, we'll just go right off of that registration mark. That'll be fine. Okay, so I'm thinking, because I've been able to kind of press it this way and stuff too, that if we just bring our dart in just to there, then we'll be fine. So that you guys can see this and have it show up on camera, I'll now do it in our permanent marker here. So I do have a dart, a registration mark right there. So I'm gonna
He says yeah.
highlight that, and I'm gonna go just to the side of that so I don't run into problems with it. And then just like what John was saying, I think if we bring it into there, so you can always start, like, do your dart shorter than you think you need to begin with, because you can always come back and cut more. But I mean, well, with the tinfoil and tape, you can always tape it back up and redo your length however you want. But I always like to start shorter. But you definitely want to make sure you draw your line where you're going to cut, and then do your registration marks first, so that, because it's harder to try to line them up after that. Okay, so with that tiny little dart, woohoo! Ta-da! Now with these wrinkles and stuff in it that you're seeing, I think that's within reason of acceptability to be able to add that curve back in that we're kind of flattening out. So you can see if I try to like press out those wrinkles, it causes these edges to kind of curl up just a tad bit. But then if I just flatten them down like that,
You can definitely get a lot of curve out of
then
heat shaping.
yeah, then you'll be able to just heat shape that curve back in when you transfer it to foam. So just that tiny little dart, and where if we see where that's going to be, it'll be back behind the ear towards the kind of the top of the helmet, where hopefully people aren't going to see as easily. So yeah, ta-da, there we go. We got a couple pieces cut out there. I am going to start to label these as well though. So this is going to be my A piece. A piece. And I'm going to actually also write like top of helmet, just in case we get a bunch of pieces and I'm starting to wonder which was what piece. And then I'm going to write along here, center of helmet, just so that I know.
What about that guy?
This guy is going to be our B piece. And, oh, and then these are all for the left side. So I'm just going to put L's on them so we know that these are the left side ones. And then, yeah, that one I'll be able to tell. That one is kind of just a puzzle piece. It's not going to fit in many other places. So, all right, cool. So we got our A and B. That one's like an embellishment, so I'll get it labeled last. I mean, like an ending layer kind of thing. Okay. So now, do we have any questions or anything before we continue on to the next part? Okay. So I'm thinking the next part I want to figure out is partially so one of the decisions we have to make is if we, yeah, let's figure out this piece next, because then I feel like that'll start to flatten things out. Getting this out of there. So So that's gonna be able to all lay flat. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna just cut this piece out right here and see if we can start to flatten this section out and see what we get. So right before I cut, I'm gonna start to do this. What was that?
Leia asked, Olivia, where's your chocolate? Oh, Leia. It's here. It's here.
Alright, so there we go. So I'm just doing, are you guys seeing this? Doing the registration marks. Oh, we're still filming.
No,
Oh,
it says it.
recorded out. Stopped automatically. Okay. So I'm just doing registration marks.
But Leia, I thought of you because we had eggs for dinner.
And then a registration mark along here. And here. And here. So especially where it's hitting like, you know, these like curve, like where it changes angles and things like that, you at least want one registration mark kind of within that range. If it's a little bit wider, try to get two in kind of thing. Just because when you're kind of piecing this all together, those registration marks are going to be super important. Usually I like to just throw a registration mark anytime there's like a change or a curve where it's connecting two different pieces. Throw one like a 1/4 inch in on each, on that intersection there. So, okay, I'm going to start by cutting that out and just see what happens here as we get to here, because we might be able to get that out of a larger piece than what we think. So.
Yeah. Leia, what is pizza salad? Red's gaming and I want to know.
Pizza salad?
Yeah, she says she's been eating pizza salad.
I like pizza and salad.
Yeah.
So, that'd be interesting. Combination of the two.
And then Red's Gaming wants to know if you plan to make the shoe for your hiccup costume. Not the peg leg, the metal foot, but the shoe.
Yes.
Big shoe.
Yeah, so I do plan on making his big, huge shoe.
Boot.
Yeah, he's got some large boots for sure. Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of like a platform shoe, a little bit. And yeah, I'll be making that out of foam. What? I don't make anything out of foam. It's weird, I know. It's like kind of stretching myself on that.
Leia says it's lettuce, pepperoni, lots of different cheese, tomatoes if you want, and ranch dressing.
Oh, cool. Nicey nice.
You have lots of those things.
Ooh, you know what?
What?
Maybe we don't even.
How would you be able to?
Maybe we don't even have to. Well, this part definitely has to.
Yeah. So
This part
you
can.
wouldn't be able to-
This part can flatten out though, right here, until we get to here. But we can make that part of it, and maybe that part of it.
Can you explain a little bit more of what you're
Okay.
saying? I feel like I'm lost.
Yes.
Here.
So no worries. So yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna definitely have to cut here, just because of this significant curve on this. I won't be able to like flatten this out, and because of the angle on this that it's gonna need to take when it folds in. If I try to flatten these out, these are overlapping each other, so that won't work. So what I'm thinking of doing is keeping this cut, but I might actually tape this back together, and take this inside piece, and leave it part of this, as well as tape this back together and take this inside part. And I might even actually be able to make this part work. So that's what I'm playing around with, looking at now. Because this one looks like I can flatten this out to an extent.
So then you would just do undercuts for
Yeah.
shaping it?
Yeah, exactly. So then we would just be doing you know, like undercuts and things like that, and pressing that in with the curve
And then hot gluing.
and hot gluing it. And maybe we use, maybe that's our dark, because that, and once
That's
we
a good place to have
once
it.
we place that back together, that kind of tightens that up a little bit. But so yeah, maybe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape this piece back together.
Is this fun for you guys? Or is
Yeah,
this
if this is boring, let me know and we'll just do something else. But if you guys are finding this interesting and helpful, then we'll keep going with it. I don't want to bore you guys. And I love hanging out with you guys and chatting too, so I don't want it to like hinder the comments.
You do have one from Red Gaming. Have you ever made Link's cap? And if so, how did you go about making the hat's point?
I have not made his cap, but I'm trying to think of how I would recommend doing it. So I'm gonna cut this piece out and then just tape it back together, lining up the registration marks. So Link's cap. I'm kind of thinking now. I'm like, I'd make that out of 2mm foam.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, here's what I'm thinking. You could make it out of 2mm foam, and like, just stitch it. So we found out that you can like sew our 2mm what the foam.
Well, you can sew any 2mm. I mean, it will go through a machine. It's just
Yeah,
whether
it just
it will
how long
stay.
it holds up or how well it holds up. Yeah. But anyway, so like just stitch that like kind of like triangle, get your diameter right, and then just stitch that triangle shape. I'm guessing it's just gonna be a triangle shape. All the way up, flip that inside out, and then put it on your head, heat shape it, and then just like scrunch it and shape it exactly how you need his hat to lay, and then you'd be good. What do you think?
Possibly.
Possibly. Cool. That's what I'm thinking. That'd be sweet. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to draw my registration marks along here. What?
Flatten the pattern. A pun these days. Like flatten the curve.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I just added my registration marks there, because I'm going to cut that piece out, and then I'm going to tape it together on the other one actually. So once again, you can see like where all of these kind of like seams are meeting up and different things is where I'm trying to kind of make my cuts to break this up, but also trying to break it up in as like few pieces as possible, so that you're not having to like glue millions of pieces together, but just strategically be able to attach the right pieces in the right spots. Yeah, okay. So,
John says, I think it's very helpful seeing how you're going about your process. I have a terrible time doing my own, but looking at what you're doing, I can see where some things should be.
cool. Perfect. Yeah, here in a second.
And then a couple people just had ideas for the link cap,
Oh.
where they could look and.
Cool. Perfect, yes. That's great. Thank you guys for chipping in and help and suggest ideas. That's what this is all about. Community, people helping each other. Okay, cool. So now that I got rid of that, I do want to have that line there still though, because I want to know that that's going to be an undercut. So once again, most of my pens are like running out now, so I would normally be marking this, and I will mark it in digital as an undercut. This would be just an undercut, not an under groove cut. And just for those of you that are, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, so let's say this is the front side of our foam, this is the back side. An undercut would be just scoring
Oh, hi, Welby.
the foam on the back side. so that from this side you can bend the foam along that scored line. I should probably have done that a little bit deeper. So from this side we can bend it along that scored line and we get a nice sharp angle. Are we seeing that? Sorry, we lost one of our main lights. We're getting more on Saturday. And so it's not as bright coming from this direction as it usually is for you guys to light this up, but we can get a nice sharp line on this side from that, and so that'll be very important to have here when we bend this back to on itself to have that angle there. And then so under groove cut though would be if we're wanting to actually create a bevel in the opposite direction. So instead of it like bending up and coming a valley like it was, we'd want to be creating a mountain. Oh, actually, I already have a groove cut right there. Perfect. So here you can see I actually already have a groove cut where I came in and I cut like at a 45 and at a 45 there. So then on the other side, when you glue that seam together, then it gives you this nice clean edge on the other side. And that gives you this nice clean bent metal or kind of just straight edge on the other side without having to glue two pieces together and try to get those all lined up and fill seams and everything. So anywhere where I can like leverage those, I like to, and we'll be leveraging those a lot with this build in kind of those in sunken cheek areas. So yeah, continuing on with that, do we have any comments in the meantime?
Joshua Harper, one of my recent dream builds is Bloodhound from Apex Legends. I think I will need to do something similar to what you're doing to helmet, so it's helpful.
Okay, sweet, perfect.
And then Razzie says the intricacies of undercuts continues to infuriate me. They are key but rarely demonstrated well. Will you take a dedicated video to just those?
Yes.
Do we have a video to those or not? We haven't done undercuts yet.
We might have. We didn't. We didn't release it yet, though. I think we were planning on releasing it from the Build Guild, but we didn't put that out. But yeah, I plan to. We should do that. So yeah, we're gonna do like a dedicated undercuts and groove cuts video. So there'll be two. So we'll talk about undercuts specifically, the type of undercuts. So you can do undercuts and under groove cuts. And then I'm gonna do another video on just groove cuts because you can do groove cuts on the top as well as underneath. And the cool technique that I learned that you guys were privy to here on the live streams of kind of like the formula for figuring out how to do the perfect groove cuts to get the angle you need. So yeah, we'll do a video on each of those. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
like I said, I thought
great.
you would have had one from the Build Guild.
Yeah, we did. I don't think we ended up releasing that. We started lining up all of our videos from the Build Guild to put out, and then I think that was one of the ones that didn't get released in the process because we fell behind on it. We're doing really good this year, guys. Like, how many videos have we put out? Like, yeah, we're stepping up our game for you guys to try to really do a good job this year of getting content out. So yeah, we appreciate knowing what you guys want to see, and so that undercuts video we'll definitely do, and we'll put one out on groove cuts too.
And then Short says there are cutting tools for such things, not just from an X-Acto blade.
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely seen some of those, and I haven't used one personally. I want to try to get one and play around with it and see what it's like. My biggest thoughts are just how do you sharpen them once they do get dull, because the foam dulls your blade so quickly. If you guys haven't seen our video on how to make an X-Acto blade last forever, or in this case, a dope knife now, check that video out, get yourself a dope knife, and have that be the one that you make last forever. It's got a nice little Cosplay Apprentice name on there because
Besides that,
we're
like they're all.
no, I'm saying because we're all cosplay apprentices. We're all learning the trade of cosplay. So you know, it's just cool little club, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, check that out. But yeah, I want to
Very
try that. I want to try that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's right.
I want to try those out and see how they work because I have seen people use them and it looks pretty cool. And I want to try them too because I do have some questions like how does that work? How would this work? And I just won't know until I get my hands on them. So, let's do 2 registration marks along there, and we'll do some along here. So I'm just going through where I plan on cutting all along this and putting registration marks. Because I'm thinking we should be able to like take this whole piece here and like have these kind of get flattened out to an extent if we cut along these lines, and then we'll be able to flatten out this, which we'll probably have to cut along here anyway, but yeah, cool. We'll see.
Sorry about that, Leia. She said, "Are you gonna do Fandom Bound Friday, or at least post your pictures?" We're sorry we left you guys hanging. We just had a really rough 2 days of Thursday and Friday. I know we talked to you about that, Leia, but we plan to do Fandom Bound Friday tomorrow, and
Yes.
we will be joining y'all. Sorry about that.
We're looking at, I might be doing like Ash Ketchum, or what was the one you had the idea for, Jay?
Team Rocket.
Or Team Rocket or something like that.
But if you're not into that, I have another thing kicking around for myself.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so we will definitely be doing that, joining in tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see all of you guys joining in. Do you want to tell them what Fandom Out Friday is if they haven't been here before? Okay. So yeah, Fandom Bound Friday is basically you secretly cosplay as a character. You kind of take that character, capture the essence of it in like everyday clothes, and then you kind of secretly are cosplaying a character throughout the day. You share it with everybody so that we see. You know, usually
secretly share it with everybody.
Well, yeah. So like you share it with like all of us
On
Instagram, and then you go to work, and people like have no idea that you're actually like kind of
But people
cosplaying.
are getting more creative with the whole quarantine.
Yeah,
situation.
with if you're like stuck at home working
Much
from home.
props if you're on. You did an amazing job, and I'm sorry we dropped the ball last week, but you did such a great job with yours. He did like a Lego Deadpool, and it was part of his video that he posted that day, but it was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Yeah, so some people have started just basically like full out cosplaying for Fandom Bound Friday with Susie creates.
So yeah, she did an awesome job.
Did like a full out cosplay and stuff too. So yeah, with the quarantine, you're not limited to just doing the kind of secret hidden cosplay, but you can actually full out cosplay too. Is it 10:30 already?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well. Maybe we need to start wrapping this up, I guess, huh? Okay, so definitely right here what I'm looking at is I'm gonna definitely need a dart to something to break this up because this curve is just too intense to flatten out along here. I would like to try to push it towards the backside here so it's not, definitely not visible in the front, but I don't think that would actually do what we need it to do. Doing it on the side, I think would still have a lot of curve here that we'd have to then also do a second one. So I'm gonna actually probably do the dart just like dead center here on that. Draw it in pencil first. And plus it's on the top, so it's less likely to be seen. Except for by really tall people. And let's give ourselves a registration mark across the center of that. You guys are probably like, man, he's going crazy on the registration marks all over the place. They help a ton, so it's totally worth it. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed, guys, that when we cut this, we will have the right wire and disarm the bomb. No, that when we cut this, it will flare out how we need it to flatten. And, you know, actually looking at it now, I don't think it will. But
As you cut it.
fingers crossed. Yeah, dang it. Yeah, okay, so we're going to tape that back together. Because
Why did you cut it?
well, right as I cut it, I realized.
You said it.
I know I said it right as I was cutting it, but I was like, well, let's just try and see. Okay, so once again, the beauties of patterning this way is how easily you can change things and fix stuff, right? So we obviously found out that that didn't work. So I'm just going to tape this back together. Luckily I have a registration mark to know where to line it up. Okay, cool. So it's like it never happened, guys. Except for we do need to redraw our registration mark that we lost right there with the tape. Okay. Sweet. And that's important that we keep those because we already drew where it connects up on another piece. Okay, so now what I'm thinking we need to do instead is actually one in the front and one in the back. I would love to try to make this like a flat piece. I think it'll be easier to glue these together after bending these in than to try to cut a piece out here and line that up with these and glue it in. Yeah. Sorry, talking to myself on that. So basically the question I was asking myself is like one option is we can just like have this be a whole separate strip of foam that wraps around and this be a separate strip that we cut at like 45s or whatever angles and then like glue them together all around. But that would be, we'd have to like get this to work really well, cut shape, and then this to like wrap around the whole way. And that's definitely one way to do it, but I think it's gonna be easier to do this as like a under groove cut to get that to fold down how we want, and then glue, you know, like here and here together across those tiny little seams rather than trying to glue along this whole thing. So that's just kind of what I was contemplating. So here we go. This is what we can do. If we just use my dart technique that I was just teaching you guys. Sheesh.
Practice what you preach,
I
man.
know, right? What's up with that? Then we would have quickly found, oh, hey, there's our pressure points. So, yeah, I think we're gonna need to do a dart like here and here and here. And then that should relieve it. So we'll go right along. Right along here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put this in between these registration marks that I have.
John Patterson says, I talk to myself all the time. Sometimes it's the only way to get intelligent conversation.
Nice.
And then Yort said, this curve really is a pain.
Yeah. This one's a little bit too advanced for me. It's ahead of the curve. All right, here we go. Okay, boom, we got our two. Now we'll do a Lightning McQueen cut. Ka-chika. Ka-chika. Okay. Boom, boom, there we go. All right, I feel like that is acceptable. Yeah. Okay, sweet. That's the little celebration song that plays when you succeed on making dart cuts. Let me know if anybody else hears it.
How many times have you seen Cars? Leah asked.
I don't know. How many times have we seen it?
I don't know. got into it for a little bit, but he didn't watch it over and over again.
Yeah, not like
Our
you did
kids
with
are
Frozen.
just obsessed with Pokemon, as you all know.
We thought it would have
We thought it would have died by now.
ended a
but-
while ago, but it did not.
Rocky music incoming.
Okay, so now what we've got.
I hear tiny voices in my head. Says Welby.
Nice.
When something comes together, right? I sing the Final Fantasy victory theme from Razzie.
Nice.
Nice. I always go
Um,
na 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 like in Zelda.
Da-na-na. Okay, so what do we think on this piece? I think I'm gonna try to make probably all of this one piece, and then make this one piece. I mean, it's sad because technically with this flattened out, this whole part becomes flat, but then we run into the problem of like up here.
How embarrassing.
So we'll have to figure that out. But okay, anyway. So yeah, that'll be my next one. They'll cut right here.
We're keeping y'all up pretty late.
Yeah, sorry. Should we wrap this up, or
How do y'all feel about it?
what do you guys think? I think you guys kind of got the idea, right?
I have a 7-year-old grandson who watched it over and over for weeks. I got so tired of it. Cars.
Yeah. Luckily, there's at least like three of them now. It's just three, right? There's not four.
I don't know. We watched the fourth.
Remember when they made a Toy Story 4?
We watched the fourth Toy Story 4, and I was unimpressed. But
I was impressed that they were able to squeeze another movie out of it, but they just wrapped it up so beautifully in the third one.
I know, like you cried.
Yeah, like we were
beautiful.
we were bawling.
It's like an end of an era, and then they decide to let's push it one more and make it a little creepy.
Well, like from the trailers, I thought it was gonna be a lot creepier than it ended up being, though.
Well, I thought the Forky was kind of like a fun idea, but Razzie says there are 3 main films with several animated shorts. I work at a video rental store. Leia says I hate Toy Story 4. It goes against the Toy Story 1 is all about. Exactly.
Oh, of like. Well, for those that haven't seen it, I don't remember like ruining it.
We're just trashing it. Then his sister would be all the Barbie movies over and over. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have that at our house.
I remember watching like all the Mary Kate and Ashley movies though when
With your sister.
like when I was a kid with my sister. Passports to Paris was my favorite.
I love you so much.
But I love Paris, so. Okay, hey, look at this. It's looking flat.
Flatten that curve. Tonight we're flattening the curve.
So the cool thing is that like along this mark, which I think we'll be able to leverage, actually like cutting a lot of this, so it flattens out back to here, but then we've got quite a steep curve here. This I was thinking about just doing as a groove cut, if I was able to make it work like an under groove, to bend back on itself. But if we're able to actually, I mean, flatten some of it, we can do an under groove here, but we could do just like cut this at bevels and then just glue them together and then it'll flow into the under groove. when we get to there.
Let's see. Rousey says, I've been watching Alien since I was 4. Cosplaying Xenomorph Queen is my dream. And then Red says, my siblings pick a movie and watch it 3 times a day for 2 to 4 weeks. Oh my gosh. Leah says, Barbie movies are for boys too. My older boys watch them with their sister. Oh yeah, I'm not against them playing with Barbies or watching it. It's just more that they're not interested.
Basically, all they watch is Pokemon when they
Yeah.
watch stuff.
PJ Masks comes and goes.
Yeah. Okay, so if we cut along
And we do
here-
Dragon's Edge.
Oh, it was so
and
cute
the
with
younger
Holly the
one,
other day.
whatever that one's called.
Dragon Rescue Riders.
Yeah. And they watched the Spyro one.
Yeah, we did what I got into Spyro. That was fun. Okay, so I think I'm gonna cut this piece out.
Excuse me.
Well, no, well, no, because those will overlap. So I have to cut it out. So I have to cut these 2 pieces out, but I think I'm gonna make them one piece. Wow, cool guys. Like we might actually be able to make this all one piece.
Really? You can roll this guy?
Yeah, because we just need to dart. Like we're just gonna have to.
Oh.
Like we see where we need to flatten this in to, and so I mean like I would like to have this front part just be the nice clean groove and do the 45 somewhere else, but this flattens so nicely and this flattens so nicely, we might be able to.
Is that dotted line covered?
Huh? This dotted line?
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's like curved.
it's like this bend that happens. It's kind of this it's like this right here. And actually, you know what?
It looks like you could just do a seam.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a seam. After reviewing the play, I noticed that this actually has kind of this slight groove, like indent in it all along that seam. So we're gonna actually cut that whole section out because
Thank you, John.
we can what?
So bless you.
Oh.
I sneezed.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Because we'll actually along that seam we'll add the indent. We'll sand down the edge of each one when we glue it so that indent automatically happens right along that seam. Because really, if it looks like there's a seam right there, it's not a problem because it looks like there's something going on right there anyway. So, so we'll cut all along this dotted line.
And
After all.
Red's Gaming wants to know how many hours you have left.
Oh yeah, so I mean, you know, it's I'm working super quick on this, so.
Got about 42.
Yeah, I've probably only spent 6 hours so far, maybe. I don't know. Like if I'm going by actual time spent on it, I think I'm probably pretty close to the 48. If we're going by.
He shouldn't have picked this build,
If we're going by
but it's gonna be cool.
like time as the crow flies.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. Anybody else want a t-shirt that says time
Time as the crow flies. We should totally Okay, we need to write that down because that's awesome. Time as the crow flies t-shirts. We can put them on Spreadshirt.
I don't think anyone would buy them but us.
Time as the crow flies.
Anybody else?
We'll mock up a little design for a t-shirt. Okay. Anyway, time as the crow flies, I'd say it's probably.
That's a made-up expression that doesn't make sense.
I'd probably say that it's you know, what we're at like 2 weeks and a couple days.
Does it change because the crow is like flying through time zones? So it's like,
Oh.
they lost an hour.
Yes, actually, you know, so time as the crow flies, calculating for time zone changes. If a crow flying at 35 miles per hour. Okay.
Razzie says I have a graphic design degree. I can make the shirt for you. He actually is a
Oh.
graphic designer.
But seriously
that's
though,
cool.
yeah.
Show us what you get.
If you want to design up something I'd love to see that. Yeah, like
You can't put a limit on genius.
hit me up on Instagram chat or something like that, and like yeah, if you mock something up, I'd love
Your
to.
kindred spirit.
I'd love to see it. That would be sweet. And then yeah, we might just like if you create something super awesome,
John said
no
we'd
need for
buy
me
it.
to also create something.
It said for $1.
Yeah, I should buy it for $1. For $1. Well, we'll see what Spreadshirt can do. They might be pushing their model a little bit.
I'd buy it for what the pig sweats. I'm trying to come up with another one.
Oh wow, that was a really big registration mark. Okay,
Oh, embarrassing.
that was embarrassing. I'm gonna
No
tape
one
over
even
that.
saw it.
I'm gonna tape over that.
I
Oh yeah,
did.
they're looking at me, not at the thing.
Leah bids 50 cents.
50 cents. Okay, we had. Wait, we're going down. It was $1 before.
Not how bids
This is
work.
not how bidding works.
This is as the four-man bids.
This is how
I'm
Mr.
trying to come up with.
This is how Mr.
new
Beast
phrases.
bids.
Just Robo
Selling cars.
Cop came to mind. Okay.
Okay, there we go. So for those of you that can't see what I'm doing, which is everybody on the live stream right now, I'm just putting
I
registration.
can't even see what you're doing.
I'm putting registration marks along that line we all decided that we're gonna cut now.
Not an actual prize. Oh, yeah. Just push it down.
But seriously, Razzie, I think I want to see your design for that.
As the crow flies.
Because I really am
Like,
liking this idea
time
of this
is
t-shirt.
like leaking away. I don't even know.
Okay. Did you say turn it down
Yeah,
here so they can
what
see?
is
Okay. So I just did the registration marks along there.
Red said if you held off, I'd make them and bring you and Olivia hoodies. That'd be so sweet. To Fan X.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Razzie says I'm already making a sketch.
Yes. I'm so excited.
As the crow flies. This is how time works in Skylar World.
Yeah. You figure out how to like tie it into the fact that it's like
For cosplay.
yeah for
And that
cosplay
it's
or that like
Skylar's time
yeah or like
frame.
cosplay time or something like that. Like I don't know. You're a genius. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Yeah, because like nobody else will get it unless they've seen our
Well,
live
the
stream.
Red's like, I'll make you guys hoodies. We'll wear them.
Cha.
Do
Okay.
you screen print Red's gaming? It's hard because I want to call you Red Linguini.
Oh yeah, we need to. I think we're already subscribed, right? If not, we need to subscribe to
I don't have control for yours.
her thing. Okay. Haha.
What?
And we're gonna definitely have to cut something out here because there's gonna be overlapping stuff. But I think that with cutting out this piece, we will then be able to get this whole big section to lie flat. Mwahaha. Would we be able to? We would. Okay, so change of plan.
Oh, cool. Vinyl. Vinyl's cool. Sorry. She said that you can call me Red Linguini or just Red is fine also. It is fine. Vinyl instead of screen printing.
Oh, cool.
Are you planning to make Captain Wolf's Phase 2 helmet?
Captain Wolf's Phase 2 helmet. That would be pretty sweet. I wasn't planning on it. If I was gonna do a Phase 2, I was going to do probably Rex's Phase 2 because I'd be able to cheat and leverage like 3/4 of this pattern. And then just have to pattern out the parts of the Phase 2 that he modded into his Phase 1 helmet. And I do like his because I like the visor section on the phase ones better. For good measure. And then another there. Okay.
Or planning an evil plot.
You'll get little evil laughs out of me every once in a while when I'm.
Mostly Skylar's laughs
Excited.
sound like a mixture of Scooby-Doo
And
and
Yoda.
Yoda.
Yep, it's true.
So listen for that, because once you know that, you will hear it, and your heart will sing with happiness.
What would that be? A mixture of Scooby Doo and Yoda? What would be like the celebrity?
The ultimate 70s showdown.
No, but what would the like if you combine those? What would like the celebrity couple name be for that?
Yobi?
Yo-
Yoda? Scooby-Doo, so
Yubi.
Yubi-Doo?
Yubi. Okay. All right. So what I did is I just realized that if I with this piece that was in here, if I could get away with attaching it to this and have it be one piece. And then we can have this all be one piece, and then this be all one piece.
Red came up with Yobi Doda. See, did you kind of hear it? It was kind of there. Yeah, that's more there. But if you like really get him giggling, it's like uncanning how it's Yobi Doda.
Yobi Doda.
That's my favorite now.
Laugh like Yobi Doda, you will. Okay.
Wait, why are we taking that back then? I missed that. I was just reading comments and listening to your funny laugh.
Oh yeah, no worries. So for those of you that missed, because you were too focused on Yobi Doda, I realized that if I was gonna just cut this out and have it just be its own piece, but I realized that it could sit with this piece and be fine, and not be overlapping anything. And then that would allow us to be able to have this whole piece all be, we'll cut this off here and have this be its own piece, and then this whole thing will be its own piece. Which I have no idea. Like, when you sit here and you flatten it like this and you realize, like, okay, we'll do that. Like, this seemed so curved before, like with all this and everything. You're like, how in the world is that possible? But when you do it this way, I've found, this is serious enough when you turn this.
Serious.
When I do the pattern like this, and you break it up in this way, and you cut these things down, you are going to question yourself when you go to like trace this onto foam or to go to do different things. You're like, is it really that curved, or is it really kind of have that little zigzag thing in it? That seems weird. I don't remember cutting a zigzag thing like that, or not like a super zigzag, but it's kind of like, whoa, does it really do that? And I will tell you, trust the pattern. Trust the pattern. There's so many times where I'm like, okay, maybe I should just straighten that line out more. It looks like it's supposed to be straight, but it's not straight. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll straighten that out. And I'm like, well, let me just try it first and make sure. And sure enough, it works perfect. It get something about the way it does that little zigzag, like ends up giving you that exact shape that you were, that you pulled it apart from. So trust the pattern. Believe in yourself. Believe in the pattern. And it will usually work out. So as long as you've like been careful about the way you've been like cutting it, different things like that, and you're not actually cutting in like weird zigzags, then you should be able to trust the pattern and you'll be good.
Trust the pattern. This is the way.
This is the way.
Okay. That would be a whole new character with combine of Yoda and Scooby. So is this going to be all out of some one type of sheet foam, or will there be layers of other materials? And they said we need a t-shirt for that too. Trust the pattern.
Trust the pattern. Trust the
With,
pattern
like,
t-shirt.
This is the way.
Trust the pattern. This is great. I was just thinking today, I'm like, man, we need to make more t-shirts. Trust the pattern, man. Trust the pattern. All right, sweet. Um. Okay, so I'm just wrapping this.
Scooby-Doo with Yoda ears and wrinkles. Now I feel like you're all self-conscious about your laugh and it's not gonna
And it's
come
not
out
gonna
real.
come out because I'm just like, oh wait, hold on.
We'll get it one of these days, even if it's not today. Now it's planted in all of your minds, and you will hear it one day.
Alright. Okay, so I don't want to cover up those registration marks. Boom!
Since
Shakalaka.
Skylar a good sport though, I can be like, your laugh sounds like this, and he just thinks it's funny. It's like not offended.
Totes, man. It's awesome. I love it. It's a compliment.
It's a compliment.
Scooby-Doo is one of the greatest detectives of our time.
I would have gone through with it too if it weren't for you darn kids.
I can't remember if I told you guys last time, but I saw a meme, or did you tell me about it or something? I heard about a meme that was going around that was like a Scooby-Doo episode kind of thing, and they're like pulling the mask off the person's head, and they're like, let's find out who was behind COVID-19, and they like pull it off, and it's like a Zoom logo for like the the video conferencing company. It's just like, and I would have gotten away with it.
Let's see. Trust the force was yesterday. Now it's trust the pattern.
Sure.
And then Razzie is, I don't trust elevators. Therefore, I take steps to avoid them.
Nice. I like this.
Didn't get you to laugh. Zuli says, I'm sorry I was really late. Hi, how are you? Hi, Zuli.
Hey, Zuli, how's it
Happy
going?
to see you.
Welcome, welcome. Okay, so while I forgot that it was pointing at my face, I just finished taping this up. I redrew the registration marks that I could see from underneath the tape still. That I covered up with the tape, taping this back together, and then I redrew our lines there because I'll need to know where those are so I can do the under groove, undercut things that we need to do on that. Which I think both of these will just be undercuts, which are easier. So, oh yeah, okay.
So now we need to cut a piece off.
Yeah. So now I just need to cut along here and along here.
Oh. I'm probably way behind on this, but is there an X-Men helmet over Olivia's left shoulder? That one up there.
Do you want to grab?
Yeah, that's.
Everyone does kind of think it's a Wolverine because it looks very similar to it.
Our little boy kind of broke it. One of them.
Where'd my gold pen go? Oh, there it is.
This is a Hawk Girl helmet. If you want to look that up.
Yeah, let's go.
So it's Hawk Girl.
Is there a transition sound?
It definitely had a kid get of it, but you see how pretty the back is. My sister wanted it, and somehow she gets what she wants really easily. Sky
Yeah,
will
we
tell
made-
other people, no, I don't do commissions, but somehow.
Well, partially it was John
Oh yeah,
wanted to make it for her.
yeah. Her husband wanted to make it.
So I was like, all right, I'll turn it into
Yeah.
a video. Wait, but we didn't ever turn it into a video, did we?
Never got turned on that
Thanks, we have Christian now.
one. Razzie says that's an amazing Hot Girl helmet. Yeah, and then he made that mace as well for it.
Oh yeah.
And then we also
Macy.
got fabric, didn't we? No, that was for
Yeah. Then he bought like a
he just bought the rest of the outfit.
like green
Yeah.
like leggings or something like
Yeah.
that, and like a
Yellow top.
top.
Yeah. But anyway, it turned out pretty cool, huh? It did have a little thing here. That's what I'm trying to point out. It was symmetrical. But
Kids think that those are
Kids,
like tabs
this
to
is
pull on to
also-
pull it onto your
this
head.
is also 2mm, just like regular
That's regular 2mm.
2mm. So it like as you know, 2mm. If it's not extremely dense, it.
PSA.
This is why we have what the phone.
If
now.
this is why we have what the foam now. If this was made out of what the foam, these would still be both intact because.
But yeah, my
but
favorite
it held
part
up really
is
well.
this.
I love this back here. Yeah, it turned
It's
out really
pretty.
cool.
It's kind of dusty. But yeah, it's a cool one.
Haha! And while we were distracting them with that, I finished the cutting out of the pattern. Okay, so. Ta-dum. Ta-dum. Alright, so the way I want to label these is kind of working our way down. So we had our A piece, and then this is our B piece that kind of connects next. So then our next piece that connects is not this one. There we go. That's right side up. We may separate these if this doesn't fit on an 11 by or on one of our What the Foam sheets. We might separate that right there.
Do you want me to pull one out?
Yeah, would you mind? Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the earpiece.
No.
This is this piece that kind of comes and connects off of that, and then this is kind of the whole little like in between. That's crazy. That's crazy that this was able to get flat. That's amazing. Oh, and I love that this is like all part of one thing. Oh, okay, let's see. Will this fit?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. All right, this is getting split into two pieces.
I mean, we do have.
Yeah, we do, but I want people to be able to do it with it too, right?
Yeah, we have big, huge rolls of this in our garage, but you don't have access to our garage unless you know something I don't know.
Hopefully they don't have access to it.
Well, I guess you would know if you have our. It would be something I know, like our garage code. If you know something I know that you're not supposed to know.
Okay, and boom. Okay, so there we go. Now, let's see, this will be, I'm just gonna label a couple of these before I forget what they are or where they go. This is like the under jaw piece. And then this side is up. And
Do you have left on mine?
connects to
I know
back.
how the time can just fly past as the crow flies. I feel like you're gonna be like this old man out on a rocking chair being like, you kids don't even know. As the crow flies. Better
Time
get
as
on
the crow
home.
flies. But it's so funny because like time as the crow flies is just like actual time versus like time working on a project.
John says, but we could have access. Didn't we send John something?
Oh yeah.
John has access.
To the big roll. Okay, so connects to back. I'm just gonna do a little thing, connects to jaw. Okay. Alright, sweet. So now we know where those go. This is obviously the earpiece. This is obviously the big
But
piece.
did you do left on it?
I'm gonna go left. This is gonna be at the bottom. And this is at the back. So I'm gonna make this my C piece.
John, just trust the pattern.
D piece. A, B, C, D.
You have to have an L on there.
E piece. L. L.
Thank
L.
you. John, just trust the pattern. That's my favorite one of the night. Well, we'll interchange. I know how the time can fly past as the crow flies. How's that, Razzie? John, just trust the pattern.
Okay. I think we can get away with making that flat.
It's like a Casablanca, like old movie lines.
Trust the pattern, kid.
John, just trust the pattern.
Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. Beans. All right, there you go, guys.
And then you can
Oh, yes, and that's the toppy top. So we'll do this one, and then we'll name our circle and our other piece.
Out past curfew said, Skylar, I just found the lights.
Ooh, yes.
I found the light.
Perfect. We'll be all set up with lights. Saturday is when our other ones get here. Okay, so we just did F here, and then so this will be G.
Oh no, it doesn't need to be now. It's full new
This
one.
is the center top piece, yeah. Cool beans, okay. And then we have these two strips that'll go on top of that. Let's see if you have here. Oh, nope, if you look here. There's these two little extra strips that go on top of this guy.
Oh, okay.
That if you see from the side, they
I'll
are
just cut 'em
on
out.
top. So yeah, they'll just be 2mm. Well, if I'm digitizing it, I'll just do that in digital
Oh.
because it's just a straight shot.
Now that we're all getting fancy with it as the crow flies and all.
All right, so there we go. There we have it. We have turned that beautiful 3D
Work of art.
work of
Garbage.
art into, as Forky would say, garbage?
Did I say garbage or trash?
Trash.
Trash, trash. Not for you.
Oh, I'm gonna
Different.
make that a little bit more evident. There we go. Okay, sweet. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully you guys found that video helpful. Make sure to subscribe. Oh man, this isn't staying up. Okay, oh well. Je m'en fiche.
It's making my eyes feel weird. Oh wow, that helped.
Okay, kind of. Focus. There we go. That's better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Anyway,
Thanks for doing that with us.
yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Thanks, Welby. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited how few pieces we were able to break it into.
Yeah, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, and really we only ended up with one dart.
What? Are you serious? No, these are little darts.
Oh, okay. I
As
barely,
the crow flies to those darts.
I barely count these as darts. These are going to be so minuscule that nobody will even notice these. But yeah, okay, technically three darts, but as the crow flies, it's only one.
We just throw that around wherever we want now.
It's only one real dart in this top piece, which is pretty impressive for how like dome shaped their helmets are, to have that small of a dart. So that's the only like real seam that we're gonna have to cover up, and well, that, and then just the little bit that sticks out here on the back. Because if you guys remember, I'm gonna take this piece and when I digitize it or trace it, I'm going to take this, flip it on this axis right here, and trace it on the other side so that they meet up right here, and it's like all one piece. And so up to here is lined up with each other, so that there's no seam here in the front, on the front of the dome of the head. Yes. Oh, I should have put this on like the half mask for you guys when I took a picture of it. I'll post it on Instagram. I need Olivia here to help me remember to post that on Instagram. Okay, anyway, yeah. So, there we go. Fun stuff. That's called 2D-fying. So, yeah. 2D-fying your pattern in a way that you have minimal seams that you have to repair. So, or fix at the end. Like, holy cow, guys. I just like looking at that again. I was just thinking about that. Like, that being our only seam for this helmet is insane. Our only like main seam, dart. Like, there's two others.
In your words as I come back then, eh?
There's 2 others here, but really, like, these won't even need fixing. They're gonna be perfect. So, yes. But the cool thing too is that there's lots of undercuts and undergrooves, and so you'll get like that real like that look of the clone trooper helmets, like it's been like
Vacuum formed.
bent metal,
almost.
vacuum formed with whatever materials they use in
Assembly
future
line.
pastimes. This is like,
You know, as the crow flies.
well, it's a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But it's like such like, more advanced technology, so it's like
Is it?
future
Is it?
pastimes. Yeah, cool. Well, there we go. That was more
That
progress.
was an adventure that we went through together.
Yeah, that was more progress in this live stream than it has appeared to have for a week and a half now. Because now it's like, hey, we actually have a pattern. We have some pieces we can trace on the foam. So if you guys are doing this yourself, and you
Trust the pattern.
yeah. So number 1, trust the pattern. Number 2, you don't have to go and digitize this and like or trace it onto paper or anything like that. You can actually use what you have right here. You just go in, take your little pattern notcher,
That or scissors.
pattern notcher,
Come on.
or scissors, and just nip out your little registration marks in little triangles. I'll just do one for you guys, so it's not like you're like wondering what in the world I'm talking about.
I'm sure.
Nip out your little triangles like that with scissors, or use your pattern notcher and save yourself some time and get this for like $5, I think.
I don't know. I didn't buy it.
If you go to buy it, try to go through one of our Amazon links so that we get the
If you feel like it.
kickback if you feel like it and you wish to help support us. No pressure. No, it was not.
Okay, no real.
Yeah, no pressure. We're not allowed to pressure people to do that. That's why I was saying no pressure, but it sounded like I
It
was
sounded
pressuring
like
them
you
more.
were pressuring.
It sounded like I was being like
We
a.
love you all.
It sounded
You
like-
buy Amazon wherever you feel like it.
It sounded like I was being like a
No pressure.
mafia boss.
Not a
Like,
big deal.
yeah,
That's
no,
the crow flies.
no pressure, but you should probably do this. You know, just saying. No,
So
that's
no
not what
good
it sounded like that, but it really wasn't. I'm sorry.
This is live.
Rewinding. Anyway, yeah, you can just notch those out and then just take this, place it right onto your foam, trace it, and just start making your thing right from there. So, so you can see here that this has like a little bit of a curve to it, and so like I said before, this is one of those things where it's like within the range of, if you can kind of like press that down without it like causing too many issues. That curve you can heat shape into your foam. It's not something that you need to worry about trying to make it dark for. So anyway, yeah.
Did you see that Red was talking about your Fenix things?
Oh
I
yeah.
just noticed them. We're getting a collection over there.
Yeah, I've got quite a collection of special guest badges back there. Kind of fun. When I come back from a con, I just like hang it up there, and then it just
Sits there.
accumulates and hangs out, and it's nice to see him again and be like, "Wow, maybe I'm able to do a bunch of those. That's awesome."
Yeah, and then as the crow darts, trust the pattern force. Like I said, what? No, I think that was to your one dart thing. And your says I actually hate pattern making. I know it's helpful, but I have to improvise every time in the end, so no patterns in the first place. Ugh, it's gotta be lost.
Yeah,
I
no,
would be lost.
I'm a big time like I do everything by patterns, because yeah, I mean you might have to improvise some stuff, but if you do, if you follow the method that I use with kind of doing this, the basket build out method, so you can see, you can see
You said it doesn't matter.
toasted flakes.
Love the approach. Good work.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't think that you
No, yeah,
were
yeah.
talking down on Pat.
No, totally. I'm just like I'm a huge fan of patterns, and so yeah, I was just saying like if you do this like basket build out method where you kind of build it all in like kind of your whole base in just like cardboard and masking tape kind of thing to kind of get your base shape, and then you do the tin and tape stuff on top of that. It helps eliminate a lot of those like impromptu things at the end. Obviously, there's always gonna be something probably that you forget or miss.
Hey,
That you have to try to figure out later on, but definitely helps. I've found it helps eliminate the amount of times that I have to like redo something or figure something out like later on down the road because I spend all the time up front. So for me, the pattern making, it's like more time invested up front, and then the rest of the process usually tends to go a lot smoother. But yeah, that's just my preference. Oh hey Uriel, how's it going? Yeah, totally. I didn't think that you were dissing on the approach or anything. You're good. Yeah, trust the pattern. Who's that? Jorts. Trust the pattern. But yeah. Anyway, that was fun. I can't believe like we got all that all cut up. Sorry if I wasn't talking as much with you guys as I usually do. But I was trying to give you guys some valuable insight at the same time in the process. Oh, George just wanted to see the workshop real quick.
Oh, cool.
Remember?
And then I'd love to know how everyone's doing or holding up.
Yeah, definitely.
With all this and everything.
Trust pattern will help me when I revisit the Voltron Legendary helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a pattern for that? You just made it.
We do. I don't know if I half digitized it. Remember when we were going through the process, I like half digitized it and posted it on one of the videos?
I don't remember. But my
Me neither.
contact hurts. I feel like my phone is switching.
Okay, so yeah, let us know while we start this how you guys are doing, how everybody's holding up in their chez vous. Yeah, I don't know how to say that in English.
Sounds
Like,
exciting.
Like
Your chez vous.
like at your place, like where you live. I guess where you live is like the best way to say it.
Today says my spring break, so we have been doing home improvement projects. That sounds nice. Our kids had spring break like the first week of this whole lockdown thing, so we didn't even
We
really
didn't
get
really
to
have,
enjoy
and it was like, what? Their spring break was like 2 days.
Yeah, it was tiny.
It wasn't really anything. Okay, so quick little
It's a
workshop
huge
tour.
mess.
It's a big mess right now because
You work from
should we
home.
throw this on the gimbal instead? It's pretty
I
rocky.
don't think it matters. I think you're just looking for excuses. Did you hear a little bit of a laugh there? Yeah, it's kind of there. It's getting there.
Okay, so there's the pattern we just made. Here's my little strip of magnet bars. There's a camera on a very sturdy tripod.
Safe. That's what Skylar and I say when things clearly are not
Are not safe. We're like safe. Here is my overhead camera. This is cool. We just finally, I've been using batteries for these this whole time, and we finally just ordered an AC cable to plug it in, so that it doesn't have to. I don't have to switch out the batteries. It just keeps going and going. The limit now is the SD card size. Oh, let's see. What did we had to comments? Magnetic holders? Yeah, they're magnetic. They're super cool. And you just like screw them down, and then it makes it super handy. Just be like, oh, I need this. Okay. Blah 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 blah, and then you're like,
That's how we work here.
done with that. Set it right there, and it's just like everything kind of has a place over there, but it's like really easy just to set it over there. It just sticks.
They're wondering how the hot glue gun stays up there.
Oh yeah, so the hot glue gun, it has this cool way to be able to mount it down. I probably shouldn't have it tilted at an angle like that. It should probably sit flat. But it's got like this little inset thing that it sits in to charge because it's a cordless hot glue gun. If you guys want to get one of these of your own, I do have links to like a lot of the gear that I use at kit.co. If you go to kit.co and go to Cosplay Apprentice, I have like,
You could link that here.
or I can throw this into the link of into the description of the live video, of this video, after we're done here. Anyway, super cool. It gives you about like 2.5 or 3 minutes of working time off of the thing, and then you just set it back on, and it has a little like red light that lets you know when it's ready or whatever. But basically, if you just kind of like you use it, do a couple things, you know, set it down, do something else, then just set it on here every so often while you're doing something else, and then it heats up. It works great. It lasts like long enough for what I need. And as we go down the line here, we've got our wood burning tool. I've added like safety switches into all of these. That's not on, right? Yeah, that's not. Safety switches into all of these. So now when I flip that on, that actually heats up the wood burning tool. Same thing here with my heat gun. If I've got it going, I flip this switch. It's just like a kill switch for all of these. So that partially so I can like flip those all off so it's not as easy for kids to do things.
Rumble their faces off.
Yeah, so if I've got this flipped off, this won't work. Anyway, just kind of some safety features there, and we use like hairdresser cups, cup holder things to make these little sliders for this. For these, they work quite well. And then underneath here, I have just basically a big long power strip. What the? Oh, it's wanting me to turn on a filter? No, I don't need a filter. Here we go. My workshop's cool enough without filters. Just kidding. Anyway, and then this one was supposed to be a hole for the plug, but it works great for this cordless Dremel. And then I've got my big drill in there. This is a blade sharpener. I actually don't really use this for sharpening any of my like blades that I use for cosplay. But
You sharpen the thing.
but I come down here and I use that for sharpening our pruners and other like bigger knives and stuff like that. It's a little too intense for delicate razor blades, but it works great for like bigger steel knives and pruner blades. And
Is that what you do? You
Yeah.
just sharpen the pruners on it?
yeah, and stuff. So anyway, I should probably just move that to the garage. Then over here I've got a little soldering station. I haven't used this too much yet because I want to get I'm thinking about trying to build in some kind of like a little like fan things to like blow or suck, one blowing air and one sucking air to like take the like solder fumes out and away from me to work on. But basically created kind of like this diffused LED light behind to be able to have like really good light on soft light on what I'm soldering, so we can see super well with the little handy guys there.
Sorry.
And then back here we've got some helmets. You can see my little hair light up there. This is pretty clever. So I actually just like glued magnets to the bottom of that light, and then I put a couple screws in the ceiling and then just magnetized it to the ceiling. And then here's our Kylo Ren lightsaber. We have a video on that. Check it out. There's our Han Solo blaster. Video on that. Check it out. We don't have a video on this Harry Potter wand, nor this Ron wand, nor this Frozen lightsaber. This has like the checkered pattern from Frozen, and then it's got the crocus flower as the top of the hilt for the emitter. There's Black Panther. Check out that video.
Much Props has a video on this.
Hiccups helmet. Are you seeing the comments for me? This is a super cool. I don't know if you recognize this when I place it right here. This is, I can't hold it far enough away to have it line up, but Much Props made this for me, and it's my sword from my logo, and he just like made it real. So that's pretty cool. And he just sent it. And it's like so awesome. I feel like I need to like write a whole story behind it now of like why it's broken and how it's like part of this whole logo and everything. There's Master Sword. That's like one of the first videos we ever made. So check that out. Here's our Bowser out of FOMO. And then Plastadipped. So it shows you the cool things you can sculpt from FOMO. Come on, focus, phone. There we are. He's still, let's see if I kind of pinch his thighs. He's still a little, still got some little flex in it, even though it's been 2 years now almost. Has it been that long?
No, it's been like a year and a half.
A year and a half since he was made. And then I've got a little Lazy Susan here.
Giving him a lot of detail. One step at a time.
And an airbrush from Harbor Freight. Not too many things that I'd recommend from Harbor Freight with like moving parts and stuff, but this has actually worked pretty well. If you just keep it nice and clean, it's a dual action.
I don't know if Jort knows what FOMO is.
Oh. FOMO is a moldable foam clay for cosplay. You can mold it and shape it like clay, and then it air dries like EVA.
Or maybe they just didn't see a video. We didn't do a video on it.
On FOMO?
On the Bowser.
Oh, we didn't do a video on the Bowser, no. That was just something we made for just to like play around with it when we were for the video that we put out on like Facebook and
Now he just kind of bops around our office.
and YouTube and stuff, like advertising FOMO, kind of introducing it to the world. So yeah, there's a airbrush. If you guys haven't seen our videos on how to make your own airbrush acrylic paint thinner and airbrush cleaner fluid, check that out. Here is the, I'm gonna show them how that like pushes up and down. Here's the command workstation with sit stand functionality. The cables are a little out of control right now because I had to change my setup to be a work from home for my other job, and so I had to like reroute a bunch of cables and everything to hook it up to my work laptop. There's Macy. It's not Macy though. That'd be cool. It's actually the mace for Hawk Girl. Always have to be like pronunciate Hawk with the K, Hawk Girl.
Sounds like
Otherwise people think I'm just saying Hot Girl. There's the Deadpool grenades and Deadpool's knife. I don't know. Did we do a video on that? I don't know either. We probably filmed it. We just didn't ever edit it. Don't look at the work table. It's in progress of a build. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but we were making a pattern for for the thing. Anyway, and then here's a bunch of shelves.
They're not very well organized.
They're not really well organized right now. We need to go through and reorganize them. Here's a cool mannequin that looks like a really cool guy. And then there's more shelves. And our main camera that films this way. And then here, the pièce de résistance. Oh, wrong button. Right button. There we go.
Can they even see?
I don't know, I'm backing up.
Yeah.
Backing up. Backing up. There we go. Oh, that's really blown out right there, though. Hold on just a second, everybody.
Razzie says they're going to bed because it's past 1:30.
Who?
Razzie.
Oh,
Good night,
okay.
Razzie. Thanks for joining. Wow, we just got a whole mouthful.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so anyway, yeah, there's the entrance into the workshop. So you kind of get the full effect of the command center here. With
Trying to get out of the
I'm just following. And then with the full entrance here. So yeah, that's basically it. A bunch of switches and stuff do, you know, different things on the wall. That's just like too many LEDs, so it's like crazy bright. And yeah, there we go. Kick on the house lights again, and we'll wrap this thing up. So there you go. Hopefully that was a nice little tour of the workshop, and maybe gave you guys some ideas for how I save space in a small space. There we go. Trying to set up the little tripod thing. And yeah, cool. Did we have any comments on that?
Rezzy's going to bed. Second time tonight, something.
I think use what the foam 4mm or 6mm for the base of Voltron Legendary helmet, and for the external foam in 2mm. Yeah, sweet. I would recommend 4mm. Basically, where you would use regular high density foam, like our cosplay foams and that kind of stuff, with 6mm. That's what I would usually recommend to do the like helmets and stuff like that. If I was doing them with those type of foams, with what the foam, drop down to a 4mm. It'll save you tons of time. So, okay.
Chatting about how everyone's doing. Good to hear you're all alright. That's crazy, Welby, about people, the police. So that's in Canada.
The what?
The police will randomly pull people over, and if there are people from different addresses in the same car, they'll find them.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
Red's going crazy, staying home. The second time Skylar's cleaned the camera. Yeah, it's kind of jarring.
Well, sorry guys.
It's gonna eat me.
So the first time I cleaned this lens on the front, and then we had flipped it around, and I realized that was the other side was probably dirty. So, especially with the lights being so like blown out.
Now you're gonna have nightmares. Yoda, Scooby-Doo, and being eaten as the crow flies.
Combination of the summary of tonight.
Trust the pattern.
Thank you for the video and all the work you pour into them, helping us pour saps. Oh, you guys are awesome. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad it was helpful, and yeah, I like to try to create good patterns that are easy to follow and save you time of finish work at the end. Cool setups. Workplace is awesome. Thanks. Second time tonight. Oh, cleaning the lens. I want to build my own workshop, but it can't be as cool as yours. That door is crazy. Yeah, no.
Well, that was the mastermind of Myron, our good friend and business partner. So. Yeah.
I never imagined that in my workshop either, and it's the coolest thing ever, and I can't believe it. Coolest Millennium Falcon door ever. Oh, sweet. Tell Myron. Myron, if you heard that, coolest Millennium Falcon door ever. I'll get the foam off Amazon when I get the money there. Cool. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Let me know. I'm excited to see that build come together for you. Today's summary is the crow flies. Trust the pattern. UB Dota and camera cleaning. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Okay. Well,
thanks, guys. It's been awesome.
Yeah. So I feel like our live streams are getting longer each week.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah.
Poor Leia. At least it's
spring break.
Spring break.
Well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and
you're our favorites.
Yeah. Tell other people that want to be our favorites to join in on the live streams. And thank you, Out Past Curfew, for the awesome donation. You rock. You're the best. Hope you're doing well. Have a great night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Cosplay
See you
on, my
next
friends.
Week. Share your Fandom Bound Fridays.
Yes, Fandom Friday tomorrow.
We will be there.
We will be doing it and posting this time. Sorry about last week.
Have a good night.
See ya.